we won't look at it, but there's a time loop that never happens, or instance that never happens, but it's going to be a huge time loop for a whole bunch of motherfuckers, including anyone behind researching anything that involved an animal. Yep. That cat never gets given LSD, but everyone who gave it to him, even those who filmed it, and those who thought to benefit from the research, and those who funded the research, they all get time looped as that kitty, and so do their rancid ancestors who put them up to it. I'll tell you why this is up here. It's gotten 49,000 views. Now, anyone who looked at that who likes to see shit like this, they're going to get time looped as that kitty and then spiritually executed right along with the culprits I just described. Yep. And then they never get born to like it. That's probably not their only time loop of stuff they liked that they shouldn't have liked. That's how this internet thing got used against spirits in multi-timelines. I think that's a greater astral violation than the one described in the previous video. 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 22nd of September 2020, Tuesday. Here in this temporary timeline, still with y'all. You know, there are entities here who will drive wedges between you and family. They will participate in taking your family. They will glory in seeing you lose everything in your life. They will participate in that. They will participate in keeping you down, keeping you away from prosperity. And they will demonize you and talk shit about you and totally twist your past up to make you look like a way worse person than you were. And they will use that as justification when they hook your wayward wife up with other dudes, or they hook her up with dope pimps, when they hook her up for racial sex with, interracial sex with, you know, their dope men. Yeah, behind your back, keeping your house divided because, well, they don't want to do nothing but dope. And they don't want to pursue a dream or a goal or sow the seed for it. But it's like, how dare you decide you want to do it? Yeah. Then after they've done all that, and there's nothing left, they'll participate in the satanic ceremony that it is to marry your wife off to someone else. You know, and there's entities who, they act like, you know, oh, well, Vini deserved this because, well, he was verbally abusive or whatever. Because, well, he would ask a question, and that's verbally abusive. See, the worst thing you could do to somebody like Pre-Vini, you know, well, the spirit that I evolved from into the next timeline, the worst thing you can do to somebody like that, who is willing to let you fuck anybody you want, will even hook you up with it. The worst thing you can do to a guy like that, the worst betrayal, I mean, besides calling the police on him, is to fuck around on him and lie to him, you know, keep the secrets for other guys. That is the worst betrayal. So that, okay, and you know that about him, and you know you're a liar, you know that you'll work with, you know, dude's siblings, his low-life scum siblings, to do stuff behind his back, you know? It's like, yeah, Oh, if Vini says something about that, he was verbally abusive. Do you see how twisted minds are against him? I mean, he has a sibling like that. The person I described who would do all the saboteur shit would just, hook his wife up with people and then befriend a motherfucker that took his wife, all he had was the ministry gods, Yah gave him, the homeless cats, the rescue cats, because the homeless cats, another Christian murdered in 2017 after 2.2 billion Christians ignored their plight and would not help Vini get the money so he could catch them and take them to a vet and get them fixed and then adopt them out. You see, so it's like their demographic has been sowing seeds of omission that they put in their non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory for years, man. And Vini's not the only one who's been having a problem, trying to get participation in real ministry, because their ministry is toxic. They go congregating and they decide they gotta go close down other ministries, deprive homeless baby kitties of a warm garage to go in, and a person there to catch them, all in the name of stuff, temporal, stuff. And, it's like mind twisty that Vini had to go through this, that he had to have his ministries took from him. The only family he had left after all the toxic shit he had for family. I mean, just toxic, judgmental, evil, fucked up, side with anybody except for him, no matter how wrong they are, It's like, it's like just evil, fucked up, shitty people, man. I mean, the worst shit you could get born to, the worst family you could come from, you see. And it's like the most unforgiving, even though they're no fucking better, you see. It's like, yeah, Vini's got a brother like that. His youngest brother by his father. Yeah, well, his other brother participated in some other shit too, and he was just as jealous of Vini's, that he would work, the 8-hour shifts on his instrument to be able to play it good. Vini didn't just come into his guitar ability. It didn't just get dropped on him. A lot of stuff he can supernaturally, he supernaturally acquired, but he worked. When that dude was in prison, he worked 8 hours a day playing his guitar. He studied music theory. He studied scales and, all different scales and different ways to apply them to different chord progressions. He studied jazz chords and practiced them. He learned at the feet of great accomplished jazz guitarists that you'll never hear of, ever. And he carried the torch after, they died and shit. He carried, their muse, their Motown muse. He carried it and delivered it and kept it home, kept it practiced, and kept ready to do it for decades. You see, and he got so good that he didn't even have to practice, and he didn't have to work a song out of a scale. He could just he got to where he could just play stuff, and even if he hit a wrong note in the scale, he could recover where he took it into a pentatonic, and it wasn't a mistake after all, you see. It's the weirdest shit, the ability that he has accomplished from nothing, and how hard he worked to get it, and how hard he worked to maintain it and hone it. And for, his, rednecky, chemical toilety, alcoholic fucking retard fucking brothers to judge him. And, not want him to have that talent he worked hard for, not want him to have any success in a career that utilizes it. It's like, and totally do everything they can to sabotage it. And, sabotage all relationships that could, foment it or facilitate it, you see. And then, okay, you top all that off. We still ain't done. Vini has to go wait outside for his dog. Well, the person that his brother hooked up so good gets to go to a job that he hooked him up with. You see, making more in a week than what Vini makes in a month. On trucks that were supposed to be Vini's, pre-Vini's. I mean, if pre-Vini just would have listened to his drunken brother 30-something years ago or whatever it was, and not called a certain individual to come work, he would have got trucks. You see, he would have got that $20 million that got spent over 2 decades or whatever, 10 million, whatever it was, $250,000 a year adds up. And when you put it on 20 years, what do you got? I don't know. I'm beyond trying to figure it out. Doesn't really, a body that's not even mine. I mean, well, it's my body, but it's not really. Yeah. And this stuff, I have to show teeth in the mouth to go outside, and, you gotta take them and put them back in the bath, rinse them out, and put some more, another pill on them and shit. It's like, man, I know that, Pre-Vini likes being able to take his teeth out for oral sex. And what's weird is it's very effective both ways for male or female. It's just like, it gives them an ability, that the woman is open-minded enough to receive it and not get retarded about it, So, that's pretty tripped out, ain't it? That there's demographics like that. And the one person, he fills a lot of demographics. He comes from a lot of different demographics because, he claims to be Christian. And he's, an ultimate hypocrite. I mean, because, there was no love. He didn't love his own brother, man. I mean, for real, he sabotaged his life. His brother ended up losing his family. The only things he had left to love, his little kitties, his ministry, that was fought against by nasty, old, decrepit, ugly, fucked up, vulture-looking, cartoon vulture-looking white devils, right? Yeah, it's like, and man, it's like, you should have been fighting with your brother against that shit, not, helping them. And, okay, yeah, you help shove your brother into a fucking old people apartment complex. Yeah. That's unforgivable, ain't it? Think about it. I mean, this is why you can't find this fucker the next timeline. You can't find none of the rap zeros that he was fans of in the next timeline. I mean, look at how toxic the music was he listened to. The boy couldn't heal. He walked around with his pants hanging down even though he had a belt. Exposing his ass, presenting. You see, thinking that that's gangster, because he wouldn't accept the truth, the facts, that you never seen a real gangster walk down the street with his pants down. Motherfucker could afford a belt, he was a gangster. And he had hoes he could call to come pick him up from jail, so you never saw him walking home from jail. Not one gangster ever walked home from jail. And not one gangster ever walked out with no pride, with no belt. Now hood rat hoods did, hood rat herds, they just herds of little hood rats. Those motherfuckers ain't gangster just because they call themselves gang affiliated, and they can be associated to, some genocide groups like, the Crips and the Bloods and shit. They genocide their own people, so they got no respect for themselves. They got no respect for their mamas or their daddies or their rancid fucked up ancestors. That's just like shit. But they go cry, fucking shit, and lay out cards all day long, right? So So yeah, this kind of, it bothered me to see this morning. That Vini, if he was here, would be sitting here waiting for his little dog to get dropped off, for his dude to go work with his, term to use loosely here with air quotes, brother. Yeah. Who couldn't get him even a day on one of the trucks. Who couldn't, couldn't see his way clear to do right by his brother in any way. Ever. Just, any time that he associated with his brother, it was like sabotaging mentality. Jealous mentality. Jealous of what? Having the desire to serve others and take care of kitties and live like a monk. Because you just can't compete with, the world. You don't even want to. You don't want to compete with the motherfuckers that are cuckolding you with your wife. It's like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Because you see what they got, they took from others. I mean, even $250,000 a year, you see, they'll just take that shit. They'll give empires to people like, Preexist's family was so rancid, good goddamn Christian, when he tried to be forgiving and hook his ex-wife up with someone to work a business that would have costed no money to start. Instead, they took that $10 million per year business and gave it to someone else who started it and made more than $10 million a year with it for like a decade. So they gave $100 million away. That, the breadcrumbs from our table would have been wealth to them. But they're so fucking stupid and fucked up. This is the bloodline Vini comes from. This is what happens. In the wrong hands, you can have his level of talent, and they will begrudge you of it so bad and hate you so bad for daring to want to do something with it, that they will just have the spirit of death over it, and they will give the ancestors, the old, decrepit ancestors that didn't want you to be playing your guitar, working on your music, didn't want you to fucking, there's no money in that, just make them fucking profits. It's like, man, you're supposed to work with your artistic fucking brother to try and prove them wrong. It's like, instead, you want to help make them profits. They nasty old decrepit, all about waiting to die asses. It's like, ain't that some shit? And Preexist waited and waited for his life to begin here in this timeline, and it never did. He never got his success or, his woman. He never got his music career. He never got his license back. He never got to be a pizza delivery guy. He would have settled for that, He would have loved to do that. And he also would have worked some other delivery jobs, but that's what he would have had that part-time on the side. This is an extra job, something to do driving. Because he loved to drive, and they made sure that he couldn't do that legally or make a living at it. That if he drives, he's got to be a thug, he's got to be a scofflaw, he's got to do twisty-minded shit, in his own mind. It's twisty-minded. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to do it. That's why he stayed with somebody he knew was doing the stuff to him that she was doing. But he never thought that, it could get, someone could get so low that, hey, you let him do all that and still treat him so good. And, even run over you with a car and shit to keep secrets for another guy and murder you, It's like, you'll cover for the person, not even let there be a police report, so that there's no way she could get charged. There's no way she could get on the news for her behavior. You know what I'm saying? So she could have a life. And then, okay, the reciprocity for that is take his life. As ugly as it was, as stagnant and sad and stale as it was, all he had was some kitties. And take it. Just take it. He never thought that it would, reach that level where you would take what's not yours from Vini and give it to some other dude It wasn't even yours to give. That wasn't your ministry. Just because she was married to somebody who was in ministry. It wasn't her ministry. The cats were never hers. She didn't even want Gato, the first cat. The only reason they got him was because Vini insisted on getting him. He insisted on it. And then, you know, she didn't like cats. She didn't want them. Well, they got him. And then, okay, then she fell in love with him. Then she became a cat person. 4 years later, Slinky Cat was the first rescue kitty. And it started a rescue ministry that got, you know, decrepit old welfare phantom who, you know, got his ancestors eliminated to stop him from getting born. You know, Ronald Everson, he came against Vinny's ministry, poisoned his cats, killed him, vandalized his you know, his house and shit, for real. No law enforcement would do anything about it. They just acted like it's okay to do it because it happened to the kitties and it happened to Vinny. Redneck with badges, redneck inbreds. Our family's above the doll. My buddies too. So anyway, I've talked way longer than I intended to because I want to sleep a while. It's about to get tight and hard unless like something happens which we don't look forward to. Sometimes it does, but sometimes there's that week you just gotta go through where it's hard. And you know, everybody kind of let Vinny down, you know. It's like he wanted help getting a vehicle. He needed help to get a fucking motorized bike. He couldn't even get that done. It's like, you know, this guy just can't get anything or have anything. And he, you know, has gotten where he's afraid to set his eyes on anything because, well, that's like a guarantee he won't get it. And yeah, it's allowed it. Probably for the reciprocity on the demographics because, well, you got them all across the board. Those who are openly a part of the world, you know, drinking tortured baby blood, you know, famous as shit, toxic influence, influencing evil, racist, fucked up white devils like Vinny's brother, who will listen to the shit. You know, the mind-rapey anti-music disguised as music they call rap. Y'all, there ain't none of this shit in the next timeline of the real world. Thank Yah, 1 trillion times over. Yeah, because, oh, dear God, it's so horrible. The entities that listen to it are so fucking retarded and undesirable and cannot be in any real world situation ever. If they can be entertained by that, they would be entertained by torturing animals, by rape, murder. They will be entertained by sports, which is violence. It's just under the guise of playing a game, but it's violence on the field. Okay? It's gladiator bullshit. It's elevating those who have physical prowess over those who have mental prowess. And then you go and you insult the cosmos, the collective consciousness, the universe in the face of Yah by paying them more to de-educate everybody and everything than you pay your educators. Well, you created a whole lot of time loops of slaves for them motherfuckers, for everybody who owned the franchise, for everybody who advertised on them, for everybody who provided them platforms, for everybody who benefited from their rigged sports fame. Yeah, now look at the time loops of slaves. You know, these rich motherfuckers dying and being slaves for real. And they being victims of their fans because they helped dumb their fans down. And they got paid more to play with balls like little male prostitutes than educators got paid to try and bring their fans back from the abyss that they let them into. Yeah, and you don't see none of these fuckers showing any sense of shame about what they've done and what they do. You know, they just keep right on doing it, acting like they're special. acting like they should be famous, acting like they should be living up in a mansion. You know what you should be is motherfucking in the time loop since everything that was ever victimized by somebody racist. Since you had such a problem with racism, you would victimize Miss Robinson in her own neighborhood by insisting that no police protect her from black thugs. You see, you hated good, hard-working, decent black people. You nasty, thug-minded bug. You need to listen to some more rap. You need to do some more fucking kneeling for the white man. Yeah, with that big white cock swinging in your face, slapping your brown cheeks, fucking jizzing all over your fucking goddamn skin. That used to be skin and pride. Now it's just skin to fucking do whatever the white man say do for motherfucking the money and the fame. And be whatever desecrated, nasty fucking race desecrating shit he says be. Yeah. I still am so disgusted by everything famous and black. I'm just disgusted by it. James Earl Jones is probably the only one that just doesn't totally just disgust me when I look upon him and what he's done with his fame. I mean, the rest of them, it's just like, oh man, you're as bought as X and King Jr. You will desecrate neighborhoods, you'll burn them down. You will kill all the good, hard-working people of your race so that you can get what you want. You know, it's like, well, if you could see the time loops, you'd see where X and King Jr. are. Where everybody who participated with them is. If you could see the time loops, you'd see them working with their own two hands to pay back the collective consciousness and the universe and this construct that we're in, being utilized as a spirit scan. Because, well, everything and everybody has non-tampable, non-deletable spirit memory. It even records your thoughts and omissions. So it records when you went to go burn down a building and you walked past a homeless kitty and you didn't stop and take care of that kitty instead of burn down some shit. You didn't do something constructive. It's seen when you kicked that homeless dog instead of taking it and loving it and petting it and giving it some food and shelter. Yeah, it saw that. It saw what your rancid ancestors downward striated to and what your role models and your famous heroes toxically influenced you to. Because, well, they had toxic mamas, toxic daddies, and they swung from the fucking dicks of toxic fucking pseudo-Jews. Everybody famous and black has done that. They like Tarzan and Jane all in one. Yeah, turncoats. Deep holes, baby. Deep, deep holes. The more famous and big and rich they are with the brown skin. Yeah. In Whitey's motherfucking goddamn territory, on the fucking platforms and everything that Whitey owns. Yeah. The deeper their holes, and the more white they are inside from having it all sprayed in them so much. And that's why they need to act like that. That's why they need to act stupid. Why they need to distract you with stupidity. Why someone like Kanye don't got no sense of shame. Why Kendrick Lamar ain't got no shame. Ice Cube, you know, it's like, damn. Oh, Stoop Slavey Dog, Dre. It's like no sense of shame for what they done. It's like you still publicly servicing them canines, you know, while anally servicing yourself with a rotten cucumber. You didn't even make sure it's a fresh one. So it's a really disgusting display. Kind of like what your mama did when she spawned you, raised you, you know, didn't raise you. You know, let you get raised by the mainstream for that welfare check. And man, it shows. And now your mama got to pay it back working as slaves, $900,000 per penny. She gonna pay it back too, so is you. Did you make millions? She gonna pay that back too. Yeah, because you didn't make millions do nothing good. No, you did evil. Look at the world. Look at the animals your fans were supposed to do good by. Look at the animals you were supposed to do good by. How many dog fights you know happened that you didn't storm and beat down the motherfuckers and want to watch dogs fight. Oh, you were hemorrhoid on Michael Vick's ass. Yeah. Michael Vick's going to be in the time loops. He's in the time loops in the future right now as in dogs. Right along with everybody who's ever watched one fight or ever had fucking got any entertainment out of that. No dog ever fights. It all gets undone, nigga. Yeah. And there ain't no motherfuckers running around calling each other nigga either, nigga. So there you go. Nobody black who says nigga makes it up out of here. Fuck 'em. Yeah. Because we know you're a racist little bitch who would cry like Ice Cube, like little teardrops through Ice Cube. Oh, little dog, he's so stupid, he called himself a cube and shit. Ice Cube. Yeah. Hell, motherfucker, go cry like a little racist bitch. Like the white man raised you to be. After he gave you all that pie that he wouldn't give another white man. He didn't give any no pie. Won't give any no money. Won't give any no success. Because he won't cause suffering like you. Right? That's why the Vini too smart to cause suffering. So Vini can't have what the white man gave all these famous crybabies. Turncoats against their own peoples. Look at them. Telling their own peoples to decimate their health. Okay, looks like it's going to be a normal day as far as temperature. Yeah, I had to get up really early to get him this morning, so we were up till like 6. I'm going to make some breakfast now, since we have breakfast today to have. There will be days we won't have food coming here soon. But it's okay. I got impressed upon this morning by the Spirit of Yah to enact curse badges upon everyone who claims to be a certain demographic. You know, churchgoers. Those who claim to be the entities that Saul, who became Paul, knew would become rancid eventually. So he was going around, but he was getting them for all the wrong reasons. I guess that's why he had to be stopped. Yeah, and then he became an apostle after murdering how many? But now it's like the spirit coming from Yah, the mentality is the opposite, you know, because, well, those who proclaim to be his and they proclaim to be Christian, you look at what they do. And so now they're hit with self-replicating curses compounded per molecule of their bodies, compounded per second that passes that Vini, pre-Vini, is separated from his kitties. So it's like there's no thought to undo what they've done to him. It's all about them and, you know, what they decide they want to do. And, you know, fuck Yahweh and his will, and fuck what he had planned for Vini. Fuck what he had planned for the location. And, you know, it's just like, hey, you know, Yahweh gives somebody some shit and then these motherfuckers come along and take it. It's like it's directly robbing Yah, you know. I mean, you've heard of the term robbing God, right? Well, that's what they do, yo. So yeah, they pre-exist. But we're here to make sure that this is where they stop. They don't make it to the next timeline. So they won't be afflicting anybody else once we hit this crash point. This is the last run for them. This is their reward. Going and hanging out in churches, stealing other people's shit, stealing other people's women, fucking little children, and fleecing the flock to get blessed. It's like, yeah, that's the Christian values way. And it's like there's not a worse parasite on the planet. I mean, you know, you could be minding your own business and you have to get other timelines involved. You have to go take a break in another timeline while your graduate spirit comes here and such shit, right? Make sure motherfuckers understand, well, y'all can't do what I'm doing, so y'all didn't graduate. Y'all should be concerned. Where's your motherfucking goddamn concern about making it to be with Jesus? Yeah, huh. I guess they've already been with him.
up with the pseudo-god and the whore with the ditch and all that good shit. Alright, man.